guys, I just got a letter from Brent, and I'm going to go ahead and read it. Dearest Gail, well, my dear, we had quite the task ahead of us for Levar. Luckily, we've had a stash of $25 tier Church of Gail patrons to assist us with this project. I decided this important but straightforward mission was the perfect opportunity to utilize their abilities and help them gain more experience in our fight against the Jesuits. N has recovered quite well from his ordeal with Sarah Avery, but is still partially retarded. Meanwhile, $25 tier patron Dale was excited and ready to go for his first assignment. We also recruited the help of a new volunteer, Amy Moose, M-O-U-S, from the YouTube comments section. The men and I gave everyone on the team a warm welcome, and after reading our warning disclaimer to them, it was time for them to start the new job. All right, I told them. Our mission is to make Levar black again. I've got some special equipment here for you all to use in this assignment. This is a special phone tablet, I said, handing it off to Dale, and an instruction manual on what I want you to do. I added while handing the manual to Amy. I have faith that you guys can do this. I know Levar is motivated to get back to his roots. Got it, Mr. Spiner, Amy said. Neem, N crooned, flapping his one retarded hand in response. I don't know what's happening, Dale replied with worry. Good. I'm trusting you with my best black friend, so make sure he stays safe. Most importantly, help him find his blackness again. Oh, and I said, almost forgetting, before you go, here are your Make Levar Black Again commemorative hats. I placed a hat on each of them before herding them out of the room and waving them off. It was time for these birds to fly. Amy, Dale, and Ann all piled into a black limousine. Being partially retarded now made Ann much more capable at menial tasks, so he was in the driver's seat. In the back seat, Amy carefully read the instruction manual I had given her, while Dale fiddled with the tablet. As per Brent's instructions, Ann swung by Levar's mansion, where Levar was anxiously waiting for them. He climbed into the passenger seat and greeted everyone with the cordial hellos and handshakes. After collecting Levar, the next stop in the trip was several hours away, far, far from the outskirts of Levar's town and his comfort zone. Stop right here, Amy said. It looks like this is the place Brent wanted us to go, and slammed on the brakes, bringing the limousine to a halt. A McDonald's? Levar asked with surprise. How am I going to get blacker here? Well, it is in the hood, Amy remarked, looking around nervously. The group exited the vehicle and approached the entrance to McDonald's. Amy looked at the manual, reading the instructions out loud to everyone. Dale, hold up the tablet to Levar and turn it on, she said. Dale did as instructed, and Levar was perfectly in frame on the tablet screen. Whoa, Dale said, it's like a video game. What do you mean? Levar asked. Dale explained. The camera shows a live image of Levar, but around the frame of the screen, there's all sorts of video game stats. In the top left of the screen, it says percentage black, which is currently at 0%. In the top right of the screen, I see black points, which are currently at 0. There's also penis size, chimp out level, and other useful character stats. Cool, Ann exclaimed. I wonder what kind of game this is. They were about to find out. Okay, guys, the first step is to have Levar walk into McDonald's and order something at the counter, Amy stated simply. No problem, folks. I do this all the time. Levar adjusted his sweater and strolled into the building with a big white-toothed smile on his face, pumping his arms beside him. Dale filmed him on the tablet. Levar gave the young black woman at the counter a wave, who remained bored and unamused as he approached her. Are we working hard or hardly working? Levar joked ineffectively. The black cashier looked like she wanted to die. Oh no, said Dale. His black points just dropped by minus 50 points, and he's currently minus 75% black. That can't be good, said Amy. The black cashier, oh, here I am. The black cashier sighed. What you want? The black cashier sighed. What you want? I'd like one coffee, please, madame. One coffee? The lady yelled shrilly before looking back to Levar. Anything else? That's all, Levar said while pulling out his American Express card to pay. 1 second, the black woman replied as she fiddled with the screen. The price ain't coming up. Levar chuckled. That means it's free. Amy, Dale, and Ann groaned and cringed in unison as Levar's black points dropped by 100 and his percentage slipped to minus 200% black. The black cashier looked at Levar with baleful unamusement before finally pulling up the price and telling Levar to swipe his card. As Levar paid for the coffee with his American Express credit card, his black points plummeted. Now with his coffee, Levar smiled and waved to the cashier like a Mickey Mouse mascot. Remember to smile! By the time Levar returned to the group, the team members were all shuffling awkwardly, shaking their heads with cringe. What's happening, guys? Levar asked. Levar, this is terrible, Amy moaned, throwing down the instruction manual with despair and sinking her face into her hands. You are the whitest man at this entire McDonald's. Levar frowned. Levar frowned. This is the opposite of what we needed to do. Dale dialed Brent on his phone. Brent, it's Dale. This is terrible. Levar is 500% white. That's quite all right, you guys. I just needed a test to see how bad it was. It looks like it's just as bad as I suspected. Amy, flip to the last page in the manual. This will be the cure. Amy found the last page. She paused for a moment to read it, and then she made a worried face. I found it, Brent. Oh boy, you really want us to do this? Oh yes, doctor's orders. It'll be easier than you think. It's like teaching a fish how to swim. Amy took a deep breath. Okay, Levar, looks like you'll need this. She pulled an earpiece out of the manual and handed it to Levar, who donned the earpiece diligently. Now you need to go back into the McDonald's and order again. This time, do exactly as I tell you. Ready? Levar nodded. I trust you guys. You're all supporters of Gail and friends of my best pal, Brent. I'm ready. Dale lifted up the tablet and restarted the game. Let's see what happens this time. Levar entered the McDonald's. Okay, Levar, Amy spoke through his earpiece. First things first, you need to walk really slowly up to the counter and drag your feet. Don't look directly at anything. Look lost in thought. Basically, you want her to think you're on drugs. Oh dear, Levar responded with hesitant confusion. Okay. Levar, still an excellent actor, did as instructed. He made his jaw become slack and his eyes fishbowl into space, walking like a zombie up to the counter with his eyes completely glued to the menu. Whoa, said Dale. He's already gained 20 black points. Levar stood at the counter with his mouth agape, staring off into space. The cashier sighed impatiently. What you want? Levar gaped a few times like a dead fish before slowly responding. Amy quickly spoke into his earpiece. A chicken sandwich, mumble it, Levar. Make it sound like you don't have any teeth. It's the meth mouth. You're high and you have meth mouth. Levar continued to gape, listening closely to Amy's instructions. he droned uselessly, itching his leg slowly. A chicken sandwich. A what? The cashier snorted. Speak up, nigga. A chicken sandwich, Levar mumbled. One chicken sandwich, the cashier shrieked to the back. Anything else, crackhead? Levar barely responded, only shaking his head slightly. $3.59, the cashier spat. Amy spoke. Levar, don't you dare pay with a credit card. Slowly go through your pockets for some change. Levar reached into his pocket, his fingers crawling half-heartedly over some crumpled-up dollar bills and dirty coins. The discovery of this in his pocket surprised him. It seemed as though his pal Brent had planted them there just for this project. After a long fumble through his pockets, almost making the cashier think he wasn't going to pay, Levar planted the dirty, crumpled-up cash onto the counter. The cashier collected the money hastily and then shoved herself away from the cash register. Dale checked Levar's stats on the tablet. Oh my gosh, he exclaimed. Levar's percentage black has gone into the positives. He's really on his way to becoming black again. Moments later, the black cashier returned with the tray of food, slamming it down carelessly and giving it a shove toward Levar before walking off again. Amy chimed in. This next step is very important, Levar. It says, provoke the shaboon. Start by complaining about the food. Levar gazed dully down at the food. After a pause, he shoved the tray back toward the cashier. This ain't what I ordered, he bellowed dully, donning a hood. This ain't what I ordered, he bellowed dully, donning a hood accent. What you mean? You axed for a chicken sandwich. That's what you got, the cashier articulated blackly, pointing at the food. It ain't what I ordered, Levar insisted gruffly. It's what you ordered, she argued, shoving it toward him once more. It ain't what I ordered, Levar argued, black, shoving it toward her. The cashier snapped back, raising her voice, her accent becoming nearly impossible to understand as her words devolved into angry hood rat word salad. Levar mirrored her, yelling word salad in return. The two blacks shouted over each other, neither listening as they both animatedly pointed and jabbed their hands and bodies at each other as if threatening violence. This next instruction, Amy puzzled. It says snatch up off her weave. Huh? What does that mean? I know what it means, Levar said, feeling a sudden rush of adrenaline and Negro hood coursing through his veins. Pure blackness permeated through every cell of his body, like a house cat remembering how to pounce. Levar's arm shot out instinctively toward the cashier's scalp, yanking off her weave and extensions in one fell swoop. The cashier screamed like a chimpanzee. Every black in the vicinity dropped what they were doing, suddenly concerned and personally identifying with the woe of the screaming shaboon. Dale was beginning to grow nervous. What's the next step, Amy? Oh no, she said. What? It says brace for chimp out. Dale braced himself, grabbing his balls. The first blacks to react were the shaboon's female packmates behind the counter. A big, chubby hood rat with a name tag that read LaQuisha started yelling incoherently, approaching Levar while flailing an oil-covered spatula. The other black girls all turned in unison, making the same shrill, incoherent sounds, violently gesturing with their arms and jabbing the air with various objects they were holding. The entire restaurant began to react. However, instead of directing their anger and violence at the source of the trouble, in this case Levar, they directed their aggressions into each other. Like a pack of overly excited dogs, the blacks in the establishment all began assaulting each other and destroying the restaurant. Glass shattered, weaves were snatched, furniture was snapped, and the food was now all over the floor. Shaboon customers began impulsively stealing nearby objects and stuffing them into their purses, then calmly exiting the restaurant, pretending like they didn't do nothing. The males brawled with unhindered aggression. The most boisterous of Shaboons found themselves in between sparring males, screaming for no reason, only to be caught in the fray and be violently pushed to the floor. "What do we do now?" Dale asked, his heart racing with white fear. Amy hesitated, nervous. Okay. The next section in the manual says how to chimp out. Let's see what it suggests." Amy flipped to the next page in the manual. Her finger landed on a suggestion, and she immediately spoke into the earpiece. "Levar, go to the nearest table and toss it over." Levar wandered the chaotic restaurant in a state of black zen, observing the chimp out like a shark surveying its open waters. Upon hearing Amy through the earpiece, he quickly did as he was told. With gut precision, Levar turned suddenly, grabbed a table, and flipped it over onto its side with a crash. "Awesome," Dale cheered. 50 points. Great idea, Amy. What else? Amy hesitated. Punch a bystander for no reason." Levar turned to the nearest stranger in the restaurant and punched them with his full strength, causing them to fall instantly unconscious onto the floor. 100 points! Percentage black just increased by 30%. Way to go, guys, Dale cheered. "Now use an object to break a window," Amy shouted. Levar looked around him through the chaos of the chimp out. He took the table he turned over, picked it up, then threw it headlong into the glass wall of the restaurant, shattering it open. "Percentage black increased by 90%. 200 black points," Dale whooped. "What else, Amy? What else?" "Jump behind the counter and start looting. It doesn't matter what you steal. Just start taking anything you can grab." Levar dove for the McDonald's counter. Levar dove for the McDonald's counter and leaped over it with grace. Like a duck taking to water, he began grabbing armfuls of food and random objects, looting as much as he could from the establishment. Whether the items were valuable or useful didn't matter. 500 black points. Percentage black increased by 200%. "You're doing it, Levar, you're doing it." Dale and Amy gave each other a high five. "Brent is going to be so proud of us," Amy said. "We just goaded his black friend to participate in an actual chimp out." "A class 4 chimp out," Dale added, pointing to the tablet. "He can't possibly get any blacker than this," Amy declared. Just then, the doors to the McDonald's blew open. Levar's imposing black silhouette stood menacingly in the doorframe. "Levar," Amy greeted him. "You did it. You really did it. You're a real black man now, Levar." "Levar?" "Hey, Shanti," Levar said, looking Amy up and down. Where your old man at?" "My what?" "I said, where your old man at?" Levar bellowed. "Levar!" Amy squeaked with shock. "What are you doing?" Levar lurched for Amy, grabbing her by a handful of her hair and bending her over the limousine. Like the proud, full-fledged black man he now was, he began passionately raping her. Dale and Ann both gasped with shock and hurriedly jumped to Amy's rescue. It was no use. Levar was now so black, his body was like a solid brick wall of rape. To the two white men, it was like trying to fight a retard. No wonder cops have to use guns. Amy pulled out her cell phone to call me. "Brent," she said breathily on the phone, "we're in a class 4 chimp out, and now Levar is raping me." "Wow, that's great news, Amy," I exclaimed. "It looks like your career as a woman is starting off the old-fashioned way." "Really?" she asked in astonishment. "You did perfect." "Woo-hoo!" cheered Amy with pride, happy to take one for the team. She pumped her fist in celebration and allowed Levar to finish raping her. Dale and Ann looked at each other, shrugged, and then celebrated with high fives. They both danced a victory dance as the McDonald's went up in chimp out flames, and Amy was raped from behind over the hood of the limousine. This was a success to remember. Not long after, the group was headed back to Church of Gail with a newly blackened Levar in tow. There was only one problem left. Wham! Levar grabbed his forehead in pain. "Hey guys," he groaned. "There appears to be a force field here. I can't get on the docking ramp to Church of Gail." The fans all looked at each other quizzically. Amy put me on speakerphone. "Brent, Levar can't get on Church of Gail. He just ran into a force field. We got onto the ramp just fine. What's the deal?" "Oh, this is great news," I said with relief. "That's because Queefetta is on board. Levar won't be able to come within 200 feet of his infant daughter or baby mama now that he's black again." "Makes sense," Dale nodded. That was when the sound of police sirens faded in from over the horizon. At first distant, they soon became loud and close as they descended on the team about to board Church of Gail. The police cars came to a stop, and out exited several uniformed men. "Levar Burton," the alpha cop asked, "we have 16 warrants for your arrest." "Wait," Dale protested. "For what?" "For being black," the cop replied matter-of-factly, pulling out his handcuffs. "That's racist," Amy snapped protectively. But Levar was already gone. Like a bullet, Levar shot from the group and was now fleeing down the street from the police. The police grabbed their guns and were soon in hot pursuit. The team stared in shock. Now they had lost Levar, and he was going to be arrested. "Don't worry, you guys," I assured them calmly. "Levar will be just fine. Now that he's black again, he can run very fast and even jump fences, trust me. Those white cops won't be able to catch him." The teams breathed a sigh of relief. "So, I guess that means we really did it," Amy remarked. "We really did," Dale determined, grabbing his friends and pulling them in close. The three fans watched as Levar faded off into the distance before disappearing into a sparkle of light over the horizon. It was beautiful, like releasing a baby sea turtle back into the wild. Anne crooned pleasantly, and Dale shed a tiny tear. So, my dear, thanks to the dedicated work of our fans and patrons, our project to make Levar black again was successful. Baby Queefetta has since been returned to her grandmama to be raised properly. Amy Moose was given a complimentary abortion and has since been promoted to a higher position. She was also told to lighten up and have a sense of humor. We are all safe and well, and we all love you so much. Thank you for always being so supportive and leading the fight for true love. Your husband, Brent Spiner. And I would like to report that we captured, goodness, I can't remember, my mind just went blank. We captured that horrible black woman who, Urethra. We captured Urethra, and she's going to be tried. We have some legal stuff to go with her, and then she will be executed. Yeah, so they got it. They captured her, and she's going to pay for what she did. All of my $25 patrons got peed on by her, and according to Brent, who's an MD, right now everything that they eat and taste is like they can't get that black woman's pee taste out of their mouth. So it's just, Brent said it's going to take some time before that goes away, but that'll be okay. Fortunately, the only one she killed was 50 Cent, but I was really furious about this. And at my Patreon page, I posted the opening scene to Gladiator because as a result of what Urethra did to my men and my Patreon supporters, I decided to beef up my conspiracy law. And as U.S. president, my conspiracy law is the law of the land. I started writing it in 2004. And I have made it that I've redefined what is a Laurie McBride Jesuit. Because Satan has changed his strategy. He's told, I really believe he went to Laurie McBride and said, "I know how we can take Gail down. We're going to attack her and her men using my followers who are not associated with you. And therefore, we can make it look like you had nothing to do with it." And Satan's really clever. And I figured this out about him. So basically, because Laurie McBride has Antichrist powers and she meets with Satan, if anybody supports Satan, they're basically a Laurie McBride Jesuit, because Laurie McBride and Satan are BFF. So, uh, so I beefed up my law saying that anybody who is a Satan worshiper, which is defined as somebody who, yeah, what Urethra did made me so mad. I said, I got to find a way so that somebody like her can't do this to me and my men again. So I mean, it would be terrible if she succeeded in killing all of them. I mean, it was a close call. We did lose 50 Cent. So I beefed it up saying that anybody who would kill for money, sex, or power, and do it for selfish reasons like to enhance their income or for sexual desire or for, just to increase their control over people and at the expense of innocence is considered a Satan worshiper, and they get the death penalty. And what we do is we use our scanners to find them, and then we round them up. That's called probable cause. So that's the evidence we need to prove that that they have probably committed murder. Then we round them up. Then we find the direct and circumstantial evidence that they've committed murder, and then out they go. It doesn't matter whether they claim to be associated with Laurie McBride or not. Anybody who does that is a Satan worshiper, even if they don't know they're a Satan worshiper, because that's exactly how Satan operates. So, and then out they go. Everybody who's like that helps out Laurie McBride because they're helping out Satan. And what Satan's doing is he's using people like that to attack me and my men and my supporters. And then Satan's goal is to replace all the people who believe in true love with people like him and Laurie McBride who feel they're discriminated against because they don't believe in true love and feel like they have a right to kill for money. So no, we're not going to. This Urethra does not deserve to be a mother. She was wrong to do what she did, and we got her, and we're going to take her out. She's a Satan worshiper, even if she doesn't know it. We are not going to tolerate that. Judge Terrance Jenkins, I asked how he was doing. He got peed on by her. He loves to drink his coffee. He's a black judge, he's a Harvard Law School graduate, and one of the top men on my marriage list. He cries now every time he tries to drink his coffee. He's a big coffee drinker because it tastes like black women's pee. He can't get the taste out of his mouth. So they're still all traumatized by it. And there's some really wonderful, I have some really wonderful $25 Patreon supporters that didn't deserve to go through this. So I've really beefed up my law. I'm the U.S. president, and my conspiracy law is the law of the land. And we are going to take care of these people. And we're going to prevent them from doing stuff like this to innocent people. So I just wanted to let you all know that as a result of what Urethra did, I'll have a link to the update to my conspiracy law that I wrote. And I have Rule 13 and Sergei Shoigu in charge of our military. And they're going to go. I've been hearing all sorts of stuff brain to brain, but the U.S. military has been totally revamped. And I'm carrying out our version of the final solution. Rule 13 likes to do a Nazi salute. Now, I am not anti-Semitic. I'm actually half King David myself, so why would I be anti-Semitic since I'm half Jewish, And my husband, Brent, is Jewish. So, but I think the final solution is a good idea if you take out the right people. And the people that need to be taken out are the Satan worshipers, the ones that I just described. The ones that are like, if she was perfectly willing to kill all the men on my marriage list if she could, just to get some more money. And she claims she needed it for her daughter. She has a really cute daughter. And I'm going to have a link to all the videos that led up to this, like how Urethra captured my men using retards, how she made them all. I'll have links to all those videos underneath this video, so you'll get to, see the backup story. So you'll watch. You can watch the 2 videos before this if you haven't already seen them to understand what led up to this and why we decided to make Levar black again. The good news is that now that he's black again, they're not going to want him to get anywhere near Quifeta, and she's going to be raised by a nice grandmama or a nice relative of Urethra. And if we have to, we can give that grandmama some financial support to help raise Quifeta well. She's a cute little baby. But that's just not, what Urethra wanted to do to Levar. She killing an innocent man to try to con us into finding out who fathered her baby so she could get child support from him. And from what I understand, she wasn't planning on using that child support for Quifeta. She was going to use it to spend on herself and let her mother raise the child. We're not putting up with that. We're not. Anyways, I've written new law to deal with people like her. That was a close call. I almost lost my husband because of her. And that really upset me. Because Brent means everything to me. So that really upset me. I said, I got to write some law so that somebody like her cannot do this ever again. And even though Lori McBride may not have been associated with her, the mere fact that that Lori was loving this. She was loving this. So you see, Satan, I believe, has made a deal with Lori. He said, Lori, I know how to destroy Gail and her men and preserve and make it so you still will be useful for me as my Antichrist. I will have one of my followers kill Gail and her men, and they will have nothing to do with you. And you can say you had nothing to do with it. So I rewrote my law like this. I said, anybody who would kill for money, power, or sex, and do it for selfish motives, and harm the innocent in the process will be considered a Satan worshiper. And they all get the death penalty. And they will also be considered a Lori McBride Jesuit. And all Lori McBride Jesuits get the death penalty because Lori meets with Satan at least once a week. So if you're a Satan worshiper, you're automatically a Lori McBride Jesuit, simply because anything that helps out Satan helps out Lori McBride. You get it? There you go. So if you're a selfish, money-hungry person who's willing to kill for money, you're a Satan worshiper. Did you know that all forms of idolatry are devil worship? Jesus told us that. So you know what these people worship? They worship either sex or money or both. That's Satan worship. If you're willing to kill for money, you're a devil worshiper. It means you worship money. Under my law, death penalty. We take you out. Okay. So there's been a lot happening, and I really appreciate all of you supporters, my $25 Patreon tiers that went through that. I've been praying for you, and I really appreciate you. Thank you for sticking by me, even though Urethra put you through hell. But my men have been through hell for a long time, dealing with all these Jesuits over the years, which is the reason I was willing to give them nude pictures and everything, because seeing my nude body actually heals them and helps them to have the strength to keep going. That's why I do it. Because I love them, and I just feel so bad when they're traumatized by the Jesuits like this. And the fact that I'm willing to do everything to give them sustenance keeps them going when they go through hell. So anyways, I really appreciate all of you. Thank you for your support. And Jesus promised that I and my men would defeat the Jesuits, and I think it might be close. Because I'm the president for real now. Because Lori rigged the election, it turned out that the country was so desperate to have a president that wouldn't destroy them, that they made me the bona fide president. So I may be the shadow president, but actually Trump actually won the election, but because Lori was so clever in rigging the election that she got her Biden cuck in, they decided to go ahead and make me president for real. So basically, if Biden doesn't do what I want, he's out. But Lori got Trump out, but Trump wasn't perfect either. We had a lot of problems with Melania, but I'm the president. That means my conspiracy law is the law of the land. And I'll have a link underneath this page all about my presidential policies. I might possibly be the best president this country has ever had. Because I'm half King David and 60% Catherine the Great. It's in my genes. Thanks again to my patrons. Your support and encouragement has really helped me in our fight for true love against the evil Jesuit order. I'm really happy to have such awesome friends, and I really like hanging out with you guys on our movie nights. So thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. This is a shirt that Zach Knight sent me for Halloween present. Here's my corkboard. When you send me stuff at my P.O. box and cards, I'm going to put it right up here, and you'll see it on the back of all my videos. Gail, Gail, Gail. Gail, Gail, Gail.